Using claims audits and reviews is one of the most commonly used tactics in the work comp industry to reduce costs. Hello, my name is Michael Stack, and I'm the CEO of AMAX, and this is the third part of my little mini series on how to get the most value out of the time we're investing in workers' comp claims audits and reviews. We're doing it anyway. Let's make that time valuable. Let's make that time effective. Let's get a return on that investment that we're making into these claims audits and reviews to actually make a difference. In the first part of our series, I talked about mindset, avoiding the blame game, working together as a team. The second part of our series, I talked about which claims to select. So, which claims are you selecting to go into this audit? Now, you perform the audit. Now, what happens after? What happens after? I will tell you what happens after in probably, 80% of the time. What happens? Nothing. Nothing happens. 80% of the time, vast majority of the time, we spend this time, we invest in it, we do these reports, the adjusters spend all the time preparing for it, everyone comes to the table, you have a little yap session, and then everyone goes back to their corners, and the report just goes up on a shelf or it gets saved in a file on someone's computer, and it's never opened, and it never actually makes a dent or an improvement in a work comp program to reduce costs and improve outcomes for the injured worker. I talked about that mindset in the first part of this series as far as how important that is, that this is an invaluable time to come together as a claims handling team in order to make some improvements. And here's what needs to happen after in order to make that time invested valuable. You need to continue the conversation. So continue the conversation. You go back to your corners, but you still connect. You still talk about, hey, we looked at this claim, and we looked at a number of claims, and we kept seeing the same thing, over and over. We're having a really big problem maybe with lag time, or we're having a really big problem with return to work, and the adjusters are trying to coordinate this, but the employer side doesn't have jobs available, and we think we can improve that. We think we can get better as a team using our better communication. Okay, so continue that conversation. The next claim comes up, or the open claims that are up. How do we work through that? How do we continue the conversation? Know the names of the people on your team. You should get together with them. You're connecting these adjusters. Who are your adjusters? What are their names? Who's the supervisor? Who's the contacts at the employer? How do you work together as a team to continue this conversation? Continue this conversation that you had when you went into this claims audit as far as improving the communication, improving the processes, improving the workflows. If you have the right mindset going into this, if you pick the right claims, if you come up with some valuable conclusions, which you will if you're going through this as a team, then just continue the conversation after that claims review is done. And until that next time you have that formal review, you've had little mini conversations, a whole bunch of them all along the way. And then the next time, whether it's you're doing it 4 times a year, once a quarter, you're doing it twice a year, you're doing it annually, whatever the time frame is for you that's appropriate. We recommend more frequently than less, but whatever is appropriate for you, you've had a bunch of little mini conversations in between, and that's just a continuously improving process. As I said, claims audits and reviews are one of the most commonly used tactics by companies and organizations to reduce their workers' comp costs and improve their systems. But what happens most of the time with these is it's a huge waste of time. Is that we put all this time and effort into it, but 80% of the time, roughly speaking, nothing improves, and it's just a blame game, and it just causes frustration, and it just causes a huge waste of time. If we're doing these things anyway, let's plan for them properly. Let's have the right mindset. Let's select the right claims, and let's do something with it after it's done. And we will see dramatically improved workers' comp claim costs and outcomes. Again, my name is Michael Stack, and I'm the CEO of AMAX. And remember, your work today in workers' compensation can have a dramatic impact on your company's bottom line, but it will have a dramatic impact on someone's life. So be great.